I want to talk about my name as well.
Okay, hit me.
All right. Well, so recently I've been watching My Name as well,
Okay.
and that show was quite ahead of its time. Like, I it came out like in 2005, and if you don't know what My Name is Earl is, he's like this guy does loads of bad things. He's done bad things all of his life, and then he like wins the he wins on a scratch card like $1,000 or $1 million, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's quite a large sum of money, maybe $10,000. Who knows? But immediately after he like wins on the scratch card, he gets hit by a car,
Hmm.
and the scratch card just blows away. And so he goes in hospital. He sees like Carson Daly on TV, and he's like, "Oh, I live my life by karma. Do good things happen to you. Do bad things happen." And then Earl's like, "Oh, maybe that's why my life sucks so much, because I do bad things and all I get is bad back." So then he makes a list of like all the people and bad things he's done, and one by one he's just gonna work towards crossing them off his list and you know getting to be a better person and stuff. And in concept, the show sounds like, oh, how far can you go with that? But like, I mean, you could go as far as the list to finish, but it's like it's tells good messages. Like in the first, like one of the first things he does as well is like he helps a person, comes at he helped a person come out of the closet basically, and like he hasn't really dealt with that before, but like it sends a good message, and like it's that kind of like it's all jokey and crap, but at the end of the day, it rounds out and tells a good message, and I feel like it's something that you wouldn't really find on TV nowadays, but I feel like it should be relevant more now, a lot more than what it was back then, because things might have been bad then, but like, you know, you do good things, you don't know who you're helping, you don't know what could change. So, yeah, I don't really know what you could add to this,
I no, I like that. It
but
was a it was a nice. It's because I feel like usually we're quite like ha.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas
Well, just
yeah.
think about who you've helped recently and what you've done, what's made you happy, and yeah,
Aw,
just
that's put a smile on my face now. All right, let's
with
ruin a
that,
movie.
yeah.
The two damn cousins out, they're watching movies.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to
Sorry,
Reinventing the Real. As always, we are your hosts, Curtis and Cameron.
boom. That's us.
We're here to, reinvent the real, as it were, in the name, the title. You'll have to excuse me this week. I yesterday, as of recording this, it's Thursday. We've had quite a busy week, both of us. So we've changed the recording date to Thursday today, and yeah, we've I yesterday I had my injection, my jab for the big scary virus that's in the air. So I am a little bit like low on gas right now,
Yeah.
if you will,
I,
because it's just like taking a not taking a toll on my system, but it's like my system trying to process all of it and that, and I'm just feeling a bit, ooh, but I didn't want to cancel the recording for it because I feel like I've got energy. It's just
got a
I might
lot of
not be my
energy.
usual like ooh self. But yeah, if you could have the opportunity, take the job as well. That's what I'll
Oi,
say.
oi, oi! You can't be spreading that. That's a political view. We're not a political podcast. Don't
Well,
don't
it's not
take the jab if you don't want to take the. You don't have to take the jab. No, no, no.
fair enough.
I'm taking the piss. Please take the jab.
Yeah, yeah. It's if you don't want to take it for your own personal reasons, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
I personally took it because I want to protect everyone around me, and I just want some sort of normality back.
yeah.
Because if we go into another lockdown, I'll probably end up offing myself. So, with that, anyway, how are you doing, man?
I'm not too bad. I was just talking to you just before we recorded. I think I can officially call myself a weeb now.
Oh hell yeah.
Like I went to London with one of my mates. Big up to Mickey D if she's listening. Probably not though. Uh, and I got my first like mango. So I feel
Oh yeah.
like it's official now. You know,
You've joined the club.
there's no getting out of it.
Yeah. That's it. You'll be like you'll be reading books now and go to like read it from the back and be like, why did I ever read books in the first place? And I can't remember the last time I actually bought like a
Like a book.
normal book other than anime or just mangas, sorry.
Um, at Christmas, I bought the autobiography of Malcolm X. I think that's it. I, yeah. It's,
Oh, tell a lie. I think the last one I bought was like about Greek mythology and stuff or Roman mythology,
oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
that's kind of
I
horror.
got quite interested, yeah. Anyway, should we get this train rolling?
Let's do it, man. If you haven't listened to us before, this is the podcast where we put our favorite movies, TV shows, etc., into a randomizer, hit that wheel, and then we kind of just wing it from there. So, Cameron, hit me with those sweet, sweet words, please and thank you, good sir.
Spit that real. Movie will we
It's,
get today? Who knows what we're gonna get? It's the real.
Oh, I have not updated the list. We got Scrabble,
Well,
which we've done.
rewind.
Let me cough, cough. Spinning, 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 spinning. Okay. So we didn't get Scrabble, although we did get another board game one.
Oh, damn.
We got Guess Who.
Oh, well, right off the bat, got some good ideas.
Yeah. All right.
Quite easy to go for, but yeah, let's see what we get
Are you,
that might
are you thinking
change the things.
like a crime thriller or like a murder mystery
Yeah,
or
a
something?
who done it
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay. So we got. Okay, it's official. It is actually official. This is now probably the one that we've gotten the most.
Okay.
It must star Michael Cera.
Yay.
Oh, that's one we haven't seen in a while. We have to have
Oh,
massive product placement.
oh yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna, and the last one is Worlds Collide. It has to star Steve Buscemi.
Oh damn. Well, it's quite a easy one this time. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, got it simple. And we can really do whatever we want with this now. It's just product placement needs to be heavy.
What are you feeling? Because like you, even initially you were like, oh, I've got some ideas. What?
Well, yeah, I was just thinking like a who done it, but I was trying to think of like something that might be quite different from that. So, um, I guess who like it's like a Freaky Friday type thing, but it's like six different people. I don't think we can keep up with that, to be fair.
Mm.
So that's a lot of moving parts of people. I can't think, to be fair. What else could we do with like guessing and who it would be and
All right. Let's think about like fundamentally what Guess Who is. It's a game.
Mhm.
And you have to guess who.
Yeah, and you ask questions. It's like, have they got bushy eyebrows?
Yeah.
Do they wear glasses? Sort of thing, right? So maybe there has to be some sort of process of
Eliminate.
elimination
Yeah.
in the film, or where that comes up a lot.
Okay. So I quite like the idea of like a who done it like you were saying.
Yeah,
So maybe we do it like a Knives Out esque where
Hmm.
like the detective is what's his name, Michael Cera or Steve Buscemi, one of them, or
Yeah.
maybe they're like a Holmes and Watson duo.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Cera and Buscemi trying to solve crimes. Do you solve crimes? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I want this to be like sort of in a confined space
Yeah.
where it had a lot of people though.
Mhm.
So like they start with 50 people. They look at some of the evidence and then they're like, "Oh well, we can conclude that this person was wearing a black hoodie in the thing and like blue Air Forces or something." And then yeah, so they look at things and then they're like, "Right, anyone we need to go through anyone who's here. It's like they get flipped down, they have to leave or something."
Yeah.
So what event would that be?
Um. Yeah. What's brought them all together? Maybe
Be
it's
like
like a
a
business conference or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh. What if it's a conference for other like detectives or whatever?
Oh.
So everyone thinks they're hot shit there.
Ah, so they're all trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And because they're
Ah.
all detectives and whatnot, they all know like how to best. So like whoever the killer actually is would know how to best like cover it up and
Yeah.
etc. etc.
Okay.
Because then I feel like that adds an interesting element to it. It's a bunch of detectives all stuck together.
Ah.
I quite like that.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Right. So how are we gonna start this then?
Okay. Right. Let me close my eyes. Let me get a picture. See Buscemi. He snaps awake from a nightmare. His wife's like, "Oh, you having another nightmare?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess I am." Whatever, however he sounds. He's like, he sits up. He's all like chiseled, and he picks up his cigarette from the side. It's just in an ashtray. He
Oh,
starts smoking it.
yeah.
He's kind of balding. Uh,
Mm.
he goes to reach for a bottle of whiskey that's sat on the bedside table, but he stops himself. And you see him like pick up like a poker chip, and he starts playing with that. It's a sobriety chip,
Ah.
and he's like, puts it back away. You just hear, ka-pring, gets a message on his phone. He's like, "Hey man, I'll be there in 20." He's like, oh. And she's like, "Oh, is it this? It's today, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "We shouldn't be gone for too long. You know how these things usually go."
Yeah.
And his wife's like, "Oh, okay.
Mm.
Well, just be careful. Blah 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 blah. Love you, sugarly boogly. My snuggly bear."
Googly bear.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I couldn't remember what make you. Celia Wheelia? Is that what he says?
My schmoochy poo.
Yeah. Sully says Celia Wheelia though, right? But he says it,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's a dickhead. Okay. Anyway, so he's like getting ready and whatnot, and she's like, just don't push yourself too hard. You know what the doctor said, and he's like, I'll be fine. I'll be, blah 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 blah. You just say
Yeah.
honk 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 honk. And he looks out the window and he's like, "Oh, is Mike here already?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's I felt weird calling him Mike. He's like, "Yeah," and he's just like sat there. And he goes outside and you just hear like loud like early 2000s pop punk, like like Blink 182 or like oh no, I can tell you it's the Anthem by Good Charlotte is playing.
Okay.
So like he comes out and it's just like and he's just sat in the car going, I wanna be just like you, just air drumming, and he knocks on the window and he's like, "Oh hey man," he's like, "Did you have to come blaring your tunes?" He's like, I can't control it. It's Good Charlotte. They're not average Charlotte. Like come on. and he gets in, and then the two of them set off on their journey.
Title cards fly up as they drive
What's
to
that?
this. Title cards fly up as they drive to
Yeah.
this convention.
Bang 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 bang.
Oh.
And like as the song's ending, like it's them pulling up, it's like ding 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 ding. But I think as they're driving, the car should like turn into like a drawing of the car driving, and then
Oh
like
yeah,
the all the like names of you know, like the beginning of Scott Pilgrim. It's like very like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like that, and all the names of the like, because it's a star-studded cast, so they all pop up. Um, yeah, and then just as they pull up, it's like do 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 do, and it's this big mansion, like a hall looking thing,
hmm
and then what happens?
Then they're like, oh, don't want to be here too long. And Steve says that, and Mike's like, oh, I think it'll be pretty good for us. Gonna finally mingle. And then it's like, ah, I've been in this game too long. You don't wanna mingle.
No,
It's like, oh, whatever, man. Let's just try and enjoy yourself. Try have a good time. You deserve this. You know, who puts on a party for like our line of work? It's like, well, whatever. Let's just get this over with. And obviously, like, he doesn't want to be there because he doesn't like these people, and he's very a solo person. It makes you question like why he chose this guy,
like as a
why
partner.
he's with this guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he doesn't drink as well, and then usually he like drinks to like you know so he's able to be with these people. Anyway, you go in, and then bloody Aziz Ansari rocks up. He's like, "Oh,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
look who's here!"
That I was not expecting that. Okay.
Yeah, he's like he's a chirpy young detective. You know, he he was like got his start when he was quite young,
Mm,
and he thinks he's all that. He's like Donnie Burger
yeah,
sort of thing. And now that he's older, he's like everybody just doesn't really tolerate him, but he's still like decent at what he does.
yeah.
He's like, oh, hey, look who's here! You made it, yeah. They're like, oh, whatever, man. What? Shut up! Like, just brushing past him. Like,
Just shut
he's
up.
like, he's like, whoa! Don't give me the cold shoulder, man. I don't, come on, we've been in this game for ages. Like, and Mike's like, oh, don't mind him, you know.
Johnny, I can't take it serious. You keep me so sorry.
It's like, oh, don't mind him, you know. He's just sour from the ride over. And then like, um, this girl pops up. Give me an actor, young, sort of maybe around the same age as
Michael
uh
Cera.
yeah.
What kind of vibe are you going for?
She's like if there was rankings here, she'd be close to like
Oh,
number
oh,
one, but she's not
she.
quite there. Yeah.
Um.
And she's like really good at what she does.
Okay.
She comes across like quite snarky, but
Daisy Ridley.
okay. So Daisy Ridley comes up and she's like
Right? I think that's not
yeah,
bad.
she's like yeah, she's like maybe one of the only British ones there as well.
Yeah.
Maybe she gets like uh kind of taken the piss out of for that and stuff. And she was like, "Oh, well, it's good to see you finally made it."
Yeah.
And
You have
then
an
like
accent.
Michael's like, "Oh, good to see you too." Oh. And you know, there's kind of chemistry there between them, but you know, he obviously likes her. You can't tell with her, but it's alluded to. It's alluded to, and then Aziz Ansari just comes in between them, like, "Oh, the gang's all here," and she's like, "Oh, I don't. I've never once worked with you. I don't care about you." Like he's just there for everybody to take the piss out of as well,
Who Aziz
pretty much.
Ansari?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so Steve's walking through, he's like, oh, I can't deal with all these youngsters. God damn. And then like all you hear is a guy go, ah, so you came. Didn't think you'd come. And then he like Steve looks forward and it's Willem Dafoe and he's just sitting at the bar and he's like drink for old time's sake. He's like, nah, I don't do that anymore. And he's like one of the ones he kind of tolerates, but they're like also bitter rivals.
Yeah.
They're always trying to best each other. And then they're like, oh, so I heard you did that job in Albuquerque the other day. And he's like, oh, all of the day's work for the best. And it's like, yeah, well, I'm the best. And they go back and forth about that a bit.
Yeah.
Then they go, oh, have you seen Sally? There's some older woman. I don't know, could be another older actor woman. I can't think.
How old are we talking?
Um,
Like 50s?
50s, yeah.
What kind of vibe?
Um, a kind of a bitch,
Okay.
and like,
um, maybe like maybe I mean she's older than 50, but she could pull it off like Sigourney Weaver.
yeah, all right. So she walks in, and she's like, oh, they're just like, oh god, she's here. And then they're like, oh, look who it is, my two favorite underlings or whatever. And they're just like, Willem Dafoe like gets up like, oh, I need a piss or whatever. He just
So
he
sorry.
just fucks off, and then Steve's like, oh god, I've been left here with her. And so them two are like, she's like, oh, so haven't been in the game for a while. What's up with that? And he's like, been sorting myself out, been working on myself and my family and that, and I. And she's like, oh yeah, I've seen you've picked up that boy. He's interesting.
And like they look over
Daisy.
to him, and he's just like he falls off a chair or some stupid shit like
Yeah.
that.
And then she shouts, Daisy, go over here, because maybe like she's training her to be like her and stuff,
Yeah.
or she likes to think she's training her, but like Daisy had her start before. You're like, go over here. It's like, oh yes, mom. She's like, look, I don't want you hanging around with that boy. And then Steve's like, well, what's wrong with my boy? And then she just looks at him and laughs, and then just walks off.
What's right with him?
Yeah, pretty much. And then Daisy goes off. Bye, Mr. Steve. She, he's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. And so, Michael rocks up and he's like, oh hey, who invited us to this thing? And then the main guy who like invited him bursts through the door, and he's all like, ladies and gentlemen, you
Ha.
could have been anywhere in the world tonight.
But you here with me? Yeah.
You're here with me. And it's bloody Taika Waititi,
Yeah.
however you say it. And he's like the owner, if you will, the like he's not the best in the business, but he's the most like out there.
Yeah. He's
Sort of like
very
he's
much a
always on
showman.
TV. Yeah. He's like, whoa, like who else would put on a dazzling show like this? It's kind of camp, whatever, but he's got a wife.
Yeah.
She like comes out after him. It's got like an emo daughter, I'll say.
Yeah.
She's like really down and
Like a
depressed and
real
stuff.
MD Adams.
She hates to be there, yeah. And but yeah, he walks down. He's like, "Oh, friends, lovers, whatever, whoever you are, tonight we do not think about our line of work. We are here for a good time to celebrate our profession and be just let loose. Don't think of yourself as a detective. Think of yourself as a regular part of society.
Mm.
Now, if you follow me through to the main hall, there's other people waiting and stuff, and then you go in there. There's like a couple more people, not no one too, but that I've established like the main sort of cast and that. And so they go in there, like it's all like a party and stuff, and he's like, all right. Steve's like, all right, we need to get out of here like soon, just show your face. We won't be here too long and all that. He's like, oh, you don't want to stay longer than this? And he's like, I know for a fact these things don't work out well.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, all right then. Well, I'm gonna go talk to
Take a
uh
pic.
yeah
Daisy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he goes to say Daisy, and then like sees her talking to someone else. He's like, Aziz or something,
Yeah.
and then goes to he's like they like him or whatever, but he goes over anyway just to like see and get closer or whatever. And then we see Taika come down. He's like, "Oh, Steve, I'm so glad you made it. I was under the impression you wouldn't come. You don't normally." And he's like, "Well, I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to be a better person and all that." Like, whoa, well, you've come to the right place to do that. Trust me, tonight is going to be one showstopper. He's like, "Oh,
Ooh.
really?"
Ooh. Question.
Yeah.
How important is it that everyone is a detective?
Um, well, not everyone in there is like maybe
Yeah.
there's like some like plus ones in that, but
Okay.
like the main cast that I just set up there, they're all detectives.
Okay. Cool. Because I had an idea, like brief. It just popped into my head, but then I was like, I don't know. I was like,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
if? So, what if it's like a convention for actors instead?
Oh,
And so like Mike is a thingamajigger is like an actor who's shadowing what's his name, who's like a detective.
yeah,
So there's like a few. So what's his name? So Willem Dafoe is also a detective who's like
yeah.
helping this other young actress prep for a role, and
Okay,
same vice versa. So then
all right.
instead of like everyone being a detective,
They're
everyone
also
is an
actors.
actor, but they think that because they've like played a detective, because they're
They
training,
are. They're pretty
yeah,
much. Yeah.
they think they're hot shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Or do you want to keep
Yeah.
it how it was?
I think it could work.
Yeah,
I think keep it for Mike. He can be a actor. Maybe Daisy can as well,
yeah.
but she's actually being trained now, kind of. She is actually really good at it. And Aziz is not an actor. He was what he was
Yeah.
like a kid. And but yeah,
Mm.
but there's like all sorts of people in here. There's celebrities and like politicians, all that kind of
Yeah, yeah.
different stuff. Maybe because it's like it's for like to celebrate the detectives, but it's also like a chance to just throw a party. Who's who is like there? Guess who's there pretty much. So yeah, we see Michael go over and he's like he's going over to Aziz and then like take his daughter like steps in front of him
Mm.
and she is like from what we saw before with her like being this timid like doesn't care about anything girl, she switches and she's like proper obsessed with him and he doesn't really know how to act so she's like oh my god, can't believe you're here, like he's like, oh thanks, you want an autograph or something, she's like oh, yeah maybe you could sign my arm or something,
Yeah.
and it's like
Some.
really uncomfortable
Yeah.
but she's like proper into him.
Yeah.
And it's like okay whatever, and then he's like trying to get out of it but he can't, and oh it's just awkward Michael Cera moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we should start getting into the
Into the meat and potatoes.
yeah.
Who is it who gets killed?
Uh, let's go for Taika. Why not?
Yeah.
It's his place. So he just gets. He's like comes out. He's like, all right, everyone. I just wanna. He goes to make a speech. But I just want to thank everyone for coming again. Like this one's more like a from the heart thing. He's like, oh, I know it's been a hard year for us detectives. Like crime's going down, but that's good. That's great. It means we're doing our jobs well. But you know, we don't get a chance to shine and stand out from the crowd. So
Mm.
this is what it's all about. So if you'll kindly like just dip your heads close your eyes for everybody we've lost.
Oh, okay, okay.
And they all like, it's kind of like to represent the flipping down of the
Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Guess Who board.
For
And everybody's like, yeah, goes, looks down, and then Steve's like, that's a bit weird, but he does it as well anyway. And then bam! He just gets shot through the head.
oh
And
shit.
like,
Oh shit. I
he's,
thought it was gonna
it's
be
like
like
really
a like a
graphic.
light thing or something.
Nah, it's really graphic. His brains just go like splayed out all over the behind. And then he just falls down. And it perfectly spells out Guess Who. I don't know why. I just thought
Nice.
that would be weird, but funny or whatever. But yeah. Hey, you want to take it from here?
Yeah. And that's where we end it. Tune in next week for part two. No, no, I kid. Yeah. So everyone like starts freaking out, like they go ah, like they're screaming and thing.
Mhm.
What's his name? Willem Dafoe and the other one.
Steve Bishop.
Yeah, they both instantly go into like danger mode. You know,
Yeah.
they're like everyone head down. They like pull out their guns. Like everyone get down, be careful. You know, watch out for blah 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 blah. And
Mm.
they split up so they can cover more ground. And like obviously, you know, they come across nothing,
Yeah.
and they so what's his name maybe finds a clue of some kind. Steve,
All right.
and he comes back and he's like, yeah, I couldn't find them, and what's his name says the same thing. He's like, yeah, no, not a clue. And they come back and everyone's like, hey, what's going on? You know, blah 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 blah. I ain't trying to die out here. Do you know how
Yeah.
much money? Yeah, I could have got shot in the face. Do you know how much money my face is worth?
Yeah.
Um, and because they're all, like the actors are all like me 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 and like shouting over each other and shit like
Yeah.
that. And they're like, "Excuse me, you know, we're trying to contain the situation," but and then they're all like me 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 me. And Daisy stands up and just like whistles, and it cuts through
Oh,
everyone like loud as shit.
yeah.
And she's like, "Excuse me." He's like, "My name's Ray Skywalker." No, 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 I kid. But she's like, "Hey, you know, these guys are detectives. This is what they do. Everyone, calm down. Everyone, listen to them. It's important that we don't panic right now. There could be a killer amongst us, for all we know." And then everyone's like, killer! What?" And like one guy's he goes, "You think I'm gonna stay here and die? No, that's what they want." And so he runs off, and then other people all run, and they all like split off and go separate ways.
Mm.
And they just go, "Well, thanks for that. Now, you know, whoever the killer is definitely getting away." And they were like, "Oh no, Taika's big into tech and whatnot. I can do this," and they press a button, and it like locks down the facility.
Yeah.
So everyone's stuck inside, but they're still like off doing their own thing. Oh, sorry, I was a I listened
Sorry.
on there. So they're off doing their own thing, just chilling, and then the four main people in the cast are like, "Well, you know, we've got to figure out what's going on." Steve's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, hey, I found this. I don't know if it helps," and it's like a clue of some kind, but I'm not very good at writing like who done it. So the clue in question I'm not too sure about. I'll fill it back in later, like as when we get closer to
Okay.
the end. But it's one of those ones where like it points in one direction very clearly, like toward one
Yeah.
person who's been acting very suspicious, and then
Yeah.
plot twist, it's not that person. You know.
Yeah.
Um, so it's very much like that, and
I think, right,
yeah,
it should do it. That should be like how the daughter is. And then uh Mike is like really convinced it's her.
yeah, like
And then he's like trying to say to Steve that it's her.
yeah,
It's her. And he's like, I don't think it is, like, you know, if you look at it this way, and he's like, no, no, it is. But then everybody else thinks that it's her. Then
Aziz.
he changes, and he's like, no, it's not her. She's just crazy.
Oh, okay.
She's just trying to fuck me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. Ah, my neck. Alright. So yeah, so that happens. And then maybe there's like a little bit of a like there's beef of some kind somewhere. Like it's nothing
Yeah,
massive, but it's like enough that they go, "What? Oh, you really think that you're better than me or whatever?" Maybe
yeah,
it's
yeah,
between Daisy and Thing. And they're like, "Well, we're going to figure out who does it early, you know?"
yeah.
And Daisy's like, "No, not Daisy, like the elder two are like, "What? Sorry? What's going on? I'm just huh? Okay. I guess we're okay, cool. Guess we're doing this." So they split off, and each of them try to like hunt them down.
Yeah.
So the main culprit, who everyone thinks is the thingamajigger, is the daughter. Did you say right?
Not
No.
fully at first.
Okay.
It They come around and be like, hold on, it could be the daughter. And
Yeah.
then but like what I was thinking for that is like so she's like not leaving him alone, pretty much. Even though like he's like, oh, your dad just died and whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I know, but you know, you just comfort me being around you.
I
It's
just feel
great. I
so
love it.
safe around you for some reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like they get left alone for like a minute, like walking down. I don't know. They're going down this corridor, and he's like shit himself. He's so scared of it. And then like meanwhile, they figure out they get a clue that points to her,
Mm.
and it's all like, oh my god, he was right. And then it looks like the way it's framed is like she's about to kill him and stuff.
Yeah.
She puts him in a room, and he's like, "Oh, is this what you want to show me or something?" Like, what's so? And then like it turns around, and you get a shot of her back, and she's like
Yeah.
pretty much fully naked
Yeah.
or something.
Take
And then
me.
he's
Like
like,
yeah.
yeah, sort of thing. And then they're like, he's. It just looks like he's gonna kill her, but it doesn't. And then it's like, you don't know what happens. Maybe it's like,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't
Like
know
he's like
whether he runs out on her or
yeah yeah.
whether he does something.
Oh.
Who knows?
Okay. Yeah. So like
But
you.
he like comes out, and then he's like, It's not her.
Yeah.
Like, trust me.
It's not her.
Like, mm,
Yeah.
maybe she's a bit psychotic that like her dad's just died and she wants to do me, but
Yeah.
you know that was always the air of her character anyway.
Okay.
That's a strange person.
Yeah, yeah. So like when she like does that, and you hear like this, like he's like, "Oh my god, no, no!" And there's like screaming or whatever. So it cuts away,
Yeah,
and you just hear him like scream, and then you see the rest of them like run around because they're like, "Oh my god, that was Mike screaming."
yeah,
Yeah, and then he like stumbles out of the room, like his legs are
yeah,
shaking. He's like, "Yeah,
yeah.
it's not her."
They're like, what happened? What did she do?
He's
Like,
like,
no, no.
"It's not her."
Yeah. Don't go in there. It's horrible. And then
That's tap, man. Imagine like getting your back blown out after like seconds after your dad died in front of you.
Jesus.
Like raw.
Well, anyway, um, I guess from there they maybe throughout it as well, like the detectives are starting to get killed off, maybe like
Yeah.
and
And that's
all it is,
when the actors are like, they're picking off the detective. This is where we have to stand up. This is where we have to.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like maybe some of them don't die, they just get like knocked out and kidnapped or whatever, or put somewhere, and then they get to like it gets to like the two actors, Daisy and Michael, and then Aziz is still there, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"How have you not died yet? Why have they not come for you yet?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they start getting like wary of him. He's like, "Oh, I'd never do that. I love this job."
What? Yeah. Um.
And then,
Quick one. He's the killer,
yeah.
right? It's him.
Well, I don't know.
No.
I didn't plan for that.
I thought it
Like,
was him. I thought
it
you were
could
going
be
like the
if you want.
like he hasn't done anything with it. He hasn't gotten any what he was like a child sensation, and that's all
Yeah.
people ever really see him as. And he like
Well,
what?
well, that could actually work
And
as an
he
idea.
and he was like so he went to Taika because Taika's like a big time director now. Like the two of them came up maybe together. Taika got his start on what's his name show on Aziz's show like when they were
Yeah.
younger. Um,
Right.
and now Taika's like this big shot. So Aziz then comes to Taika and he's like, "Hey, can you help me out for old time's sake?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, no.
Hmm.
Why would I want to put someone like you
Yeah.
in or something like that?" And he gets all like, "Someone like me, bitch, I made you, that kind of."
Yeah. But then
But man,
as well. So that he killed Tycho,
yeah.
but
But he,
also
yeah, okay, say it, go on.
the main woman, like the older woman,
Yeah,
she's kind of taken control of
yeah,
this.
yeah,
And so he went to her and been like, "Oh, have you got any advice? Like, I don't know what to do."
yeah,
She was like, "Oh, just follow your heart or whatever." She said all the right words,
yeah.
and it led him to that, and she knew it would, because she knew like he was so easy to break. She's watched or him for years or whatever, knows exactly how he ticks. No, she knows how to get under everybody's skin and stuff, and like and but she knew this would be a good opportunity to like take her place as like the number one detective sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so she was gonna like be the one. I'm gonna figure this out. But what she didn't know was that he was gonna do it at that place with all the other detectives.
Oh,
So now
okay.
she's killing all the other detectives.
So that they don't figure it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
so she can properly take her place, and then she's gonna like blame it on Aziz.
Yeah. So yeah, so they figure out that it's like Aziz or whatever,
Yeah,
and
he
so
like
they
maybe admits to it and
yeah
goes, "Oh, it's on my conscience, but I didn't kill anyone
yeah
else. Come on, you gotta believe me."
yeah, and they're like, yeah, no, you're a dickhead. We're taking you in. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
And then maybe like it's something that's like blatant or something like that. Like the
yeah,
uh oh okay yeah. So when they piece it together, that it was and Aziz, maybe it's
yeah,
because like there's a hand cream like laying there that is like one that he uses.
yeah,
Um, and so they're like, oh, it must be him. No other prima donna here would use a hand cream like that. Blah 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 blah.
yeah.
And so like then as the female detectives, like, oh, good work. You guys really cracked the case here. And they shake her hand, and he feels the hand, and he's like, oh, odd.
Hmm.
Smells like juniper and an elderflower or whatever,
Yeah.
And he picks up on it, and he's like, son of a bitch, he was telling the truth. And you just like you see the fear in like what's his name Aziz's eyes. He's like, she's gonna kill me, man. I can't do the voice, man. You do it way better than I do.
You're gonna kill me.
There we
Oh
go.
my god. Uh, I don't know. Maybe she does kill him.
Oh, no.
She's like, screw it. I can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Shoots him in the head with like, and then
A
just
gun.
like bolts off like up into like the main balcony area or something. And they're like, oh my god! And it was like the same bullet that shot him in the head and everything.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh Jesus! So now she's running upstairs, and then like, I don't know, maybe Daisy's up there, like Daisy and Michael are up there, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, I can't believe it was him. Steve was taken downstairs and that. And then so all the older ones took them downstairs. They're like, oh, I can't believe it was him. We kind of like grew up together as well, said Daisy. And so he's like, oh, no way. I didn't know you were that close and all that. And then she comes bowling through the door, like,
Yeah.
Daisy, come here. We gotta get out of here. And she's like, what? Why? What's going on? It's like, oh, it's Steve. Steve's gone mental. And they're like, what? Steve would never do that. And then she's like, oh, shut up, shut up. You don't know anything. And then Daisy's like, oh, I don't really know what's going on. And then she's like, shut up, just
Yeah.
listen to me. And then maybe she pushes her over the balcony and she's like hanging on, like, oh my God. And then Mike's like, oh no, Daisy. She goes to go run over there. She grabs him as Steve comes through this door. He's like, oh, whoa, whoa, take it easy. She's got the gun to Mike's head. Steve's all like, well, just nobody has to die, you know?
Yeah.
Like Daisy's like hanging on for dear life and stuff. And then Steve's like, look, just let the boy go. We'll let you get away. Bring the girl over the edge, and it's all gonna be fine. She's like, I don't know if I could do that. And too far gone. You know too much. And he's like goes to reach for like his gun. Her fingers like getting very close to the trigger. Daisy's fingers are slipping,
Yeah.
and then you just hear like glass shatter. Everybody like looks up
We're like,
to
what's
like
going
the
on?
top left. The girl, Taika Waititi's daughter, dives out of the window
Oh, this
and
crazy
like
bitch!
jumps on. Yeah, she jumps on
Yeah,
the
Sigourney
older
Weaver.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, get off him, he's my man. She's like
Yeah.
shaking him, like proper strangling, and then just like pushes her over the side. And then she like goes falling off, like, oh my god, no. But, like grabs onto Daisy's leg or something. Daisy's now slipping even more. Steve like runs over
Yeah.
to Daisy's, grabs her hand. She's like, oh, just let go of me. We'll fall. She'll kiss my fall or whatever. She's like, I'm not gonna do that. And she like, he's pulling her up. You know, he's like not as good as he used to be. And then like Mike comes over. He's like, come on, we can do this. They pull her up, but she's not letting go. Daisy's trying to kick, and then the crazy bitch just jumps off again. She like jumps onto her, and then they both fall down, and then boom, they're just on the ground.
Yeah.
It's quite high up, and they're like, "Oh my god!" They fill up, and then that's when like all the police start to arrive and see them on the ground. They're like, "Oh Jesus!" They start going. They go downstairs, like down into the bottom. You know, like Taika's wife still there. She's like, "Husband, and my daughter now." Like, but her daughter's not actually dead. She's just like maybe paralyzed or something. And so's the other one.
Yeah.
They're not, you know, the fall wasn't. It was high, but it wasn't enough to kill them. Maybe they landed in the bushes, aim for the bushes, and then uh, so like maybe they're like putting the girl into the ambulance, and Mike's like, "Oh, you saved my life. You know, no one's ever done that for me before."
Yeah.
She's like, "I'd do anything for you. Please wait for me when I get out." And he's like, and there it is. And then just like, thank you very much, but you know,
No.
yeah, so maybe I'll come visit you or something. But yeah, she's like, please, please do it. I'll be waiting. And then they like shut the door. And then like other side is like Steve talking to her. He's like, I didn't know you were actually that crazy. He's like, yeah, well, you're in this business long enough, you know, it can break you.
Yeah.
So I know that for a fact. And she's like, oh, you got a cigarette or something? Gives her one. It's like, he likes it for her. He's like, you know what? You know why I didn't kill you? It's because I liked you the most. You know, you were always smart. And it annoyed me. And I wanted to just break you. Seeing you,
Ooh.
like, go through all this, like, I was gonna leave you alive just so I could, like, push you over the edge, like, finally. You know, with all the drinking and maybe his family problems and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, well, you've just made this one of my best finds in my whole career. He's like, that I have. And then she like just spits the fucking cigarette at him. She's like, see you later. I'll see you soon or whatever. He's like, yeah. And him and Mike come together and they're like, well, that was crazy. It's like, I told you I don't like to go to these things. And they both just get in the car and then Dave's like, oh, hey, wait up. And then she like just kisses Mike. He's like, oh, thanks. You know, but I kind of had enough of girls for one day or whatever. She's like, yeah, I get that. Well, if you're ever in town, you know, give me a call. Like, yeah, I think I might just do that.
Nice.
And then they drive off. It's just like fades out on the thing.
Mm.
We could end it there, or something else could happen. Who knows?
I think that's it. I think that's a
Maybe.
good ending.
Yeah, it's a nice little ending. I think. Yeah.
Wasn't that crazy? Yeah. Guess who? Ding 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 Sorry, I got carried away. But yeah, what
a
did you think?
decent, a decent. Who did it? Done it.
I
Good twists, good turns. Yeah,
I enjoyed the challenge of like how do you convert like a a, a board game
yeah,
into a motion picture. And that's
it's
our
crazy.
second one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I preferred Scrabble to this one.
yeah, no,
This Scrabble
same.
had like a nice Disney Channel original
Yeah,
feeling to it.
it was driven by emotion. You know, it was very
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like if this had more time, like it could be fleshed out better if it was like written down and stuff. It could be like it's quite an interesting concept.
Mm,
But then again, it's like you might have seen that one a lot before. But hey, we've just reinvented the reel.
that we have. I've been Curtis.
And I've been Cameron. See you next week, man.
See you next week.